Hi, welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe. So today I want to make this easy gumbo recipe ASMR style, but I want to copy Cooking with Carolyn. The seafood will be crab, which I love. I love shrimp, and I've never seen lobster, but again, I'm not a professional at gumbo making, but I love lobster, so I decided to add it in. So again, I followed her recipe, but I kind of made it my own. So while my pan is being heated, I will show you what I will be putting inside my gumbo. So along with the heat, the oil, which is 2 cups, I will do in the 2 cups of flour. I cut up my sausages. I have my chicken seasoned, and my vegetables I will put in my food processor. Again, I don't like celery, so I didn't add celery. And this is what I had. And from different videos of YouTubers doing, I kind of took something from everyone. But again, I kind of thought maybe 2 cups of flour was too much. But hey, and then don't forget my seafood that I had in the back. So my pan is already heated. And again, it's 2 cups of oil to 2 cups of flour. And I try to stick as much as I possibly could to Cooking with Carolyn. But I had to tweak it a little bit because, again, I don't eat celery. And I probably would have added it if I had it because it cooks down so much that you probably wouldn't even have seen it or crunched into it. But I didn't have it. I normally carry celery in my or have celery in my refrigerator, but because my son likes it, or I would juice it. But I didn't go to the grocery store and I didn't want to make a trip just for it. And don't forget my okra, okay? That was washing already inside my in my little container in order to drain it off. So just go ahead and add your flour piece a little bit by a little bit. Now you guys, I am not a gumbo maker. I'm not a professional cook, but I have to cook healthy. If I buy food out on the streets or anybody else is cooking, I tend to get sick because of all the different spices that I basically cannot eat. Either it makes it too salty or it makes me retain water. So I have to limit what I cook with. So for this gumbo, it was rich in terms of spices where I don't normally cook with it. So make sure that the heat is on medium to high and do not stop stirring your roux. Roux intimidates me, guys. I'm Belizeans, and we don't refer to it as roux, and we don't normally do it with a fat. We normally just do with in the pot, and we just brown the flour. And I think that's where I got scared because when I first was trying to cook something, we have something that has the equivalent to roux, which would be bacon powder. It would be stew fish and stew conchs, and those I think are made with a form of roux, which again would be just a browning of the flour. And that I cannot do. I was so scared, you guys, to do this because I was afraid to mess it up. Now I'm switching to my spatula, and for 20 minutes, I did this for 20 minutes till it was a golden brown or a caramel color, and that's what Cooking with Carolyn said. So I'm following her recipe, and I'm telling you, I want to thank you for this because this is going to be my go-to recipe because it was really good. Even my husband, that's not really a soupy type of person, didn't like he loved it. And my youngest, he fights with me all the time about eating and what we're going to eat, and he hates this and he hates that. He was like, Mom, is it time to eat? Can I eat? He loved it. Now, so I will be doing this for the 20 minutes. Like I said, that it's a caramel color, and just to show you the different color of the different time on the stove that you see where it turns. At one point, I'm thinking, this is not going to turn. It's not going to be brown enough. But then I switched to heat on high, and when it was becoming too lumpy too fast, I kind of put it back on the medium high, and I just make sure I continuously stir. One thing is my hand was like heating up. So I had my container is so big, so I had to put it on the ground, and I just scrape all the roux inside of it. And guys, make sure that you prep all your stuff prior to this, because it's kind of like a go-to thing. You can't stop, and while the roux is cooking, you can stop and slice your veggies. No, everything needs to be hands-on at all times. So make sure your veggies are washed, your meat are cooked and seasoned and ready to go. Now, I didn't cook my chicken prior because I figured it was already going to be cooking in here. So this is all my veggies that I cut up and I added to my roux. This is not currently on the stove because my husband bought a 40 quart, is a gallon, 40 quart, I think, gallon container. And it was, oh my gosh, it was so big for me and I'm so small. So I'm adding my sausages, and again, it's my roux, it's my vegetables, and my sausage cheddars at this point. And I'm trying to hurry up and do it so I could put it on the stove. I had cramps in my leg because I had to tiptoe so in order to see inside the pot. I'm like 5'2", but on my license, well, legally, I think I really should say 5'1". So here's my chicken, and again, I didn't bake it like Cooking with Carolyn did, because I'm okay. I didn't want it to be too hard, and I figured the hour on the stove it would cook anyways. And so I'm just mixing that together, and I will be putting it on the stove in a few minutes to hurry up and try to get, at this point it is on the stove. So here I added my water and a little bit of veggies that was left in a food processor. I washed that out to add to the liquid, and now I'll be adding my okra. I love okra, you guys. My family, we have something called stew beef and okra, or we call it okra. And so we love our okra, and it's so healthy for a lot of stuff. You need to Google what that is healthy for. It's really good. And the slime is okay for me. The slime is what helps thicken in the pot for the stew, beef, and okra, so we don't have to make a roux. Roux are hard for me because, again, there's all these seasoning you're going to be putting in there. It's already flour, that's a carb, and it's already oil, that's too much. So that's why I try not to put too much flour in things. So these are the seasoning. Hey guys, please, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do that. And so anyways, let's continue. I went ahead and add just some of the seasoning for right now, and I'll show you what I left for last, because seafood is already salty, so I didn't want to over salt my gumbo. So therefore I will put the salt and the different gumbo spices in after I put the seafood. So I'm mixing all the spices that I put in, and don't forget your bay leaf. I went ahead and put my 3 in, and I found them all before, at the end. So mix it in, and this was like the best, and such a rich gumbo. Just show you at the point how the chicken is still raw, because it's fairly still barely went inside to cook. And just to show you what it looks like in there, it looks like but anyways, I'll be adding my salt and these 2 seasoning after I add my seafood. Now, my husband can't stand crab, can't stand the look of it, he can't touch it, he don't even like it. So I had to boil the crab separate and added it into the gumbo after it was cooked. But it was okay. It was okay because when I put it inside my bowl, I kind of threw the gumbo like seasoning on top of it, like the soup part of it on top of my gumbo. So it was okay. So that's the compromise. I wanted to show you the difference in how my pot looks on the stove, you guys. I told my husband, he's like, well, this one was like 40 something, a little bit less was like 38. So I just got the big one. I'm like, yeah, my calves are killing me. Anyways, I already did my rice, and I cooked that already, and that's my rice finished. And I don't use a rice cooker, but I have to know your stove, because this rice right here, it's on I guess the back left hole, and that's the best hole for this pot, because this pot is ceramic and it burns very easily. It doesn't have a coating on there, so you really have to know how to use this pot before cooking anything. This is not a pot that you could leave beans in and not watch it, like just to go and add water. No, you have to watch it continuously because it will burn. So now I'm just keeping an eye and continuously stirring the gumbo just to check on it. So, it was my first time working with this pot. It's not foggy outside, it's just the heat to my phone. Yeah, so it's fog. It was, I mean, I didn't even use, oh, another thing I didn't use was chicken broth from the, I guess, box. I don't use chicken broth that's bought. Those things are loaded with sodium. So I just did my own, you guys. I made my own, which was the juice from the seasoned chicken, and I added some more water in there, and you really couldn't tell the difference. I mean, it was healthier. Um, it was a healthier option, anyways. But that's what we use for gravy in our stewed chicken. We normally just use the gravy with that's from the chicken. So I will go ahead and add in the additional 3 seasoning, and let's taste it at this point to make sure it's not too salty. And I still have a lot of roux left. Everything inside is gone, and I wanted to kind of do fish and add the fish to it, but no, it was okay because again the flour really messed with me, and I have to be careful with doing that. So this is finished, you guys, and I found 2 of the bay leaves so far, 1 more to go, and this is my gumbo. Guys, I want to thank Cooking with Carolyn for this recipe. She made it very easy. It's an older recipe that she has, but anyways, thanks for watching. Please don't leave without subscribing and commenting before. Love you. Bye bye.